俺は忍びだ。
How's it going, everyone? This is Konoha Central, and for today's video I'll be talking about sort of an emerging debate within the Naruto and the Boruto community, especially for those who read the manga. So recently there have been a lot of arguments online as to whether or not Kaguya is stronger than Isshiki or Jigen, and personally speaking, if you ask me, if you've read the manga and you have any idea how the power scaling in the Boruto era works, this shouldn't really be a question. But in this video, I'll explain it a little bit better for those who don't really understand. I'll explain the relationship between Kaguya and Isshiki, and then I'll explain who's stronger between the two. But before I begin, I just want to give a quick little heads up that there will be spoilers from the manga in this video. So if you don't want to get spoiled, feel free to click off the video, but don't actually, because I need the watch time and the views, if you know what I mean. But yeah, spoilers ahead. So in the most recent chapter of the manga, in chapter 46, Amado is having a conversation with Naruto, Shikamaru, and Sasuke, and he reveals to them that Jigen's true identity is as an Otsutsuki named Isshiki, and that him and Kaguya came to their planet a long time ago. Amado then tells them what their objectives were on Earth and how Kaguya suddenly turned against Isshiki, and quoting directly from Amado, he says, "I don't know Kaguya's motives, whether it was personal enmity or wanting the fruit all to herself. There is no way to find out now. But the important thing is that it happened. Caught off guard, Isshiki suffered enough damage to be on the verge of death, but he managed to take over the body of Jigen." So the thing that stands out from what Amado said was that Isshiki was caught off guard, and from that reason we can determine that Kaguya was probably planning to take down Isshiki by herself, but she knew she couldn't face him head on because he was so much stronger than her. And the reason why she turned against Isshiki is still unknown. Right now we can only theorize. And I just want to make something clear, that defeating someone off guard doesn't make you stronger. For example, look at Goku when he fought Frieza. He was taken out by a laser beam by one of Frieza's henchmen, and that doesn't make Frieza's henchmen stronger than Goku. That's just common sense. So Kaguya probably feared Ishiki's power and figured that the only way to defeat him was by catching him off guard. So from this brief moment of dialogue between Amado and the shinobis, we can come to two conclusions. The first is that Kaguya's backstory that was shown in the anime is completely filler and not canon at all. She didn't actually come to Earth by herself, as shown in the anime. She came with Isshiki, which she ultimately ended up backstabbing and harvesting the chakra fruit all to herself. The second conclusion is that Kaguya is much weaker than Isshiki, and this can be further proved through Boruto power scaling. So we all know that Momoshiki is stronger than Kaguya. This has been proved many times, and I don't need to explain this. We should all know this by now. We should also know that Naruto and Sasuke as adults are much stronger than their teenage counterparts. So without diving into too much, we know that Kaguya lost to teenage Naruto and Sasuke, and yes, you could argue that they sealed her and not completely beat her, but sealing also counts as a form of defeat. So Naruto and Sasuke as teens were able to defeat Kaguya in a sense. Now moving on to their adult years, in which they are much stronger, they were both able to defeat a being who was much stronger than Kaguya, being Momoshiki. So off of that alone, we can conclude that Naruto and Sasuke as adults would completely obliterate Kaguya if they fought her again by themselves. Now moving on to the point that completely seals the deal. In chapter 38 of the manga, when Jigen or Isshiki fought Naruto and Sasuke both decided to go all out, as Sasuke brought out his perfect Susanoo and Naruto brought out Kurama's avatar. And bear in mind that this was the first time since the Momoshiki fight that we have seen either of them use this form, and although in my opinion I don't think this is them going completely all out, but at that point they were in one of their most powerful states. Okay, so this is where things kind of get funny. So Jigen gets attacked by Sasuke's perfect Susanoo, and then he proceeds to call it slow, and he directly says its speed isn't all that impressive, and then he tries to test out its defense, and then he completely knocks Sasuke out of his Susanoo with just one kick. Do you know how much striking force it would require to knock someone out of Susanoo with just one kick? Even Naruto was surprised. As the fight went on, he also managed to knock Naruto out of his Kurama avatar with just a single strike. And if you've read the fight, you know that Jigen was able to handle them pretty effortlessly and with little to no difficulty. And then there was a point where he had them pinned down with his rods and was literally about to kill Sasuke, until Naruto forced him to use his space-time ninjutsu to teleport back to Konoha, leaving him behind. So because of the 9 tails and the fact that he had expended a lot of chakra, Jigen decides to seal Naruto instead of killing him, and just like I said earlier, that also counts as a form of defeat. And not to mention the fact that Isshiki was also with a weak and a failing body without access to his full power. Jigen's body was in so much pain that he actually shed a tear, and Isshiki says to himself, "Does your body hurt, Jigen? To shed a tear is pathetic. You're not worthy of being Otsutsuki's Ishiki's vessel, you defective failure." So to wrap things up, Isshiki is without a doubt absolutely stronger than Kaguya, as he was able to defeat both adult versions of Naruto and Sasuke, who were significantly stronger than when they fought Kaguya. And he did all this with an extremely weak vessel, and that right there is enough to prove that Isshiki is stronger than Kaguya. Anyways, that's been it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, could you please leave a like, subscribe, and share? That would mean a lot to me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.